takes about 50 years for a middle class person to become a millionaire. That's nearly half a lifetime.
In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
And if you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need.
Middle class works for paychecks. Rich make money work for them. Rich buy assets. The poor only have expenses. The middle class buy liabilities they think are assets.
A recent report released by UBS, of all the billionaires, 70% of them are self-made. Seeing those billionaires, you ask yourself, how did they do it? When you look at them from the outside, it's easy to tell yourself a comfortable story. They were born lucky, they had connections, they had a start I never got. But then, Oprah Winfrey, born in poverty. Howard Schultz, born in poverty. Jack Ma faced lot of rejections. Roman Abramovich, born in poverty. Ann Combe, born in poverty. Elon Musk, self-made billionaire. And then there is you. You probably sitting somewhere, half tired, half distracted, trying to steal a moment of peace from a day that never really felt like yours. You did everything right. You went to school, you got the degree, you got the job, you followed the plan that everyone around you said was the plan, and then something feels off. There is an EMI eating your account every month, maybe 2, even maybe 3, a home loan that felt like an achievement the day you signed it, but now it just feels like a chain. A car you bought not because you needed it, but because it looked like the right move, like the move someone successful makes. Buying things you don't even need just to impress people who don't even care. And then, wedding. Another milestone, another checkbox ticked, a beautiful moment that slowly turned into more responsibility, more expectations, more pressure to keep everything together. In the middle of all these things, you got the promotion you waited for, the bonus that felt good for exactly a month, the new job that paid a little more but demanded a little more of you too. Kids grew up, parents grew older, you got busier, and somewhere in the middle of all that business, somewhere between the deadlines and the school fees and the weekends that went by too fast, you forgot to stop and ask yourself, is this the life I actually wanted? EMI, salary, marriage, loans, responsibilities, and repeat. Every month the same cycle, every year the same story. Running, providing, managing, surviving, and without even realizing it, you are 65 years old. Just stop and ask yourself, are you sure this is what you wanted? Just one day you are 25 with dreams, and next you are 65 with regrets. 40 years, your best 40 years of your life just for a pension, repeating the same loop every single day. Savings almost nothing. Energy almost gone, and somewhere deep inside you have started believing that maybe you're not just good enough, maybe you're not lucky enough. But what if I told you this isn't your problem? It's the system, a system which was quietly built by the society, by the expectations, by the people around you, a system that trains you to study, to work, to earn, and then spend everything. You think you are building a life, but in reality you are just barely maintaining it. This group, this invisible cage, this cult of people called every powerful nation on earth has one secret. Look at these powerful and developed nations. Do you notice something? Every single one of the most powerful, most wealthy, most developed nations on earth has one thing in common. More than half their population is middle class. This pattern itself says the middle class is not the byproduct of strong economy. Middle class is the economy.
If Washington can move quickly to pass a rescue plan for our financial system, to pass a rescue plan for our middle class.
We are not talking about a small group. We are not talking about a minority. We are talking about the majority of the human race, all living inside the same loop. And what does this group do? everything. They build the roads, they run the hospitals, they teach children, they write the code, they file the taxes, they manufacture every product you have ever touched, every single thing that makes modern civilization function is done by this group. One of the most influential presidents of United States, Barack Obama, once said, "When the middle class thrives, America thrives. When it doesn't, we don't." This is the defining challenge of our time. So let me ask you something. If this group is so essential, if presidents depend on them,
He's trying to tell us he cares about the middle class? Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
if entire economies would collapse overnight without them,
The worst economic crisis in years, they just don't have the money.
then why are the people who produce the most owning the least? Why are the people who work the hardest retiring with the least? Why are the people without whom nothing would function are the most financially fragile people in the system? And it all comes down to one simple answer: the mindset. Fear of losing what little they have, fear of taking risks nobody around them is taking, fear of stepping out of the line when everybody else is moving forward in it, so they stay. Because stepping out feels far more dangerous than staying stuck. The middle class was never really middle of anything. It was always the base, the foundation, and everything else was built on top of that. The wealthy live above the system, and the middle class is the system, because their entire financial existence depends on one single thing: showing up. You stop showing up, income stops. You get sick, income stops. You lose the job, everything built around that income starts shaking. There is more honest word for this group. That's working class. So how did this happen? In the late 1800s, a system emerged, one that brought stability, growth, and opportunity, but also the reputation. A rhythm so common, it feels natural. You wake up, you go to work, you pay your bills, and do it all again tomorrow. In those days, life for workers was unstable and unforgiving. There were no guaranteed jobs, no stable income, no real safety. Every morning, thousands of people would gather outside of factories, hoping to be chosen for the day's work. If they weren't picked, they didn't earn. If they didn't earn, they didn't eat. And those who did get in often worked for 14 to 16 hours a day under brutal conditions. Despite this hardship, they had one thing that terrified factory owners: the freedom to walk away. That freedom became the serious problem for the industrialists. At places like the factories of Henry Ford, the workforce was constantly collapsing. Thousands were hired, even more were quitting. So Ford made a decision that shocked everyone. He cut the working hours to 8 hours a day, limited the work week to 5 days a week, and doubled the wages to $5 a day. Other business owners thought he had lost his mind. Why pay more for the same work they do? And then something unexpected happened. Workers stopped leaving, factories ran smoother, productivity increased, profits increased, and suddenly other companies had no choice but to follow the same. This became the foundation of the modern job, the famous 9 to 5. For millions, it was a breakthrough, a stable income, a predictable life, a chance to plan for the future. Still, there weren't enough workers prepared for this new kind of life. Much of the population was rural, so people weren't used to strict schedules, repetitive tasks, or taking orders inside structured systems. That's where John D. Rockefeller saw an opportunity. The challenge wasn't just keeping workers anymore, it was creating them. And the answer came through education. With the advisors like Frederick T. Gates, schooling began to change. Inspired by systems used in Prussia, education became more structured and standardized. But at the same time, success became closely tied to one thing: just following instructions. By the early 20th century, formal education had become widespread and effectively mandatory. Generations after generations grew up internalizing the same pattern: do what you are told and get reward. Then, just as system seems to stabilize, it was again shaken by Great Depression 1929.
House of Cards collapses, and the overinflated stock market plunges into a Great Depression.
Unemployment surged, banks collapsed, spending stopped, and when people stopped spending, the entire system began to fall apart. That's when Franklin D. Roosevelt introduced a new solution through housing policies. Homeownership became possible for millions. Down payments dropped, mortgages stretched to 30 years. For many families, this was life-changing. A chance to own something, to build stability, to create future. But it came with a condition. If you miss payments, you lose everything. so people kept working. At the same time, education expanded further through student loans. More access meant more opportunity, but also the rising cost. Tuition increased, debt followed, and many entered adult life already carrying financial pressure. Now step back and look at the full picture. Pillar 1 created stable work. Pillar 2 prepared people to function in the structure. Pillar 3 made stepping away far more difficult. Together, these pillars built something extraordinary. They powered industries, they built cities, they created economic growth on a massive scale, they gave millions a life that was safer, longer, and more predictable than ever. But they also created something else. These three pillars invisibly created a system where most people don't need to be forced, because the structure around them does the job. In the last section, we have seen how Ford, Rockefeller, and Roosevelt built the tracks. The tracks only work if the train wants to stay on them. And over time, most people stop questioning where those tracks are even leading. Because when everyone is moving in the same direction, it feels normal, it feels safe. This is where the physical cage becomes a mental one. And it has a name. The rat race. There is a huge misconception around the rat race. Movies, self-help videos often villainize jobs, like the office is a prison and quitting your job means freedom. But this is totally untrue. For millions of people, job is a way of producing some value, producing something meaningful. The rat race isn't the job itself. The real rat race starts when your salary hits your account. That 1 second when you feel a lot of relief, and then within days everything is gone. Groceries, EMI, rent. And by 25th of the month, you are already waiting for the payday again. This is a real trap. Month after month, year after year, the number on your payslip grows, your lifestyle grows with it. And this is an invisible glue that keeps the middle class stuck to the floor. Because no matter how much money comes in, it always finds a way to leave. This majorly happens because of one invisible force, the status trap, the byproduct of lifestyle obsession. Your colleague bought a new car, now you need one too. Your friend posted a vacation, now your life feels ordinary. Comparison is the engine of rat race, and social media give that engine unlimited fuel.
Yeah, the constant stream of content can cause some users to compare their own lives to other people.
So social media often portrays this curated version of life, highlighting luxury and travel and shopping and just lifestyle upgrades.
This is what keeps the loop running. So you wake up, you work, you pay, and repeat. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, the real question gets buried so deep you forget it was ever there. Just a minute before you click off the video, I am Santosh. If you watched this video till this point, I hope you enjoyed it. To be honest, I know I messed up a lot of things. I just wanted to publish this video as early as possible, as this had been sitting with me for a long time with all kind of doubts whether this will work, whether this will get completed, what people will think of me, especially those who know me. And finally, we are here. I honestly don't know where this journey will lead to. If you love watching videos related to money, business around it, and people in general, please consider subscribing the channel. Thank you so much for watching till this point, and stay happy, stay healthy, and see you in the next one.